What's up, everybody? Welcome to LettermenRow.com. I am Jeremy Birmingham. This is Bermanology. On the other line today is Bennett Christian, a 2022 tight end from Ackworth, Georgia, Altoona High School. Bennett, thanks for taking time. It's been an interesting weekend for you, I'm sure. You made your first visit to Ohio State. Your family got in the car and drove to Columbus and then went home. What'd you think?
Honestly, it was everything I wanted to be. I got to saw everything I needed to see. The only bad thing, I did dead period, so I couldn't go inside any facilities or meet with coaches. But beside that, it was absolutely beautiful. I loved it in every way. I was kind of expecting something more like Georgia Tech, but it was really green. The buildings looked really historic. It was something like it's a place where I could spend the next 3 or 4 years of my life at. It felt like home. It was a great place. Just really excited to get to Tennessee this weekend and make that decision coming September 1st.
Tennessee, as the place you mentioned here, they were in your final three with Ohio State and Penn State. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you were basically getting ready to get in the car to go north this past weekend when Tennessee accepted a commitment when Penn State accepted a commitment from another Georgia tight end,
right,
who has not been on campus there. You have family ties to Penn State. So the Penn State Nittany Lions have 2 tight ends committed for 2022. And that pretty much forced you to say, I'm not going to go visit there and narrow things down to just 2 schools, correct?
Yes, sir. That's a good summary of what happened.
So Penn State, you have family that played there. Your father played at Tennessee. You have no family connection to Ohio State, but interestingly enough, the Buckeyes offered you on June 2nd, and Penn State and Tennessee offered you then immediately right after.
Right. Yes, sir.
As a recruit who obviously has family ties to those other schools, does it make you think that maybe, like, if Ohio State didn't offer that day, those schools weren't going to, or did it just happen to work out that way?
I have no idea. I knew Penn State. I knew it was coming soon, but I think it was kind of like that. Ohio State was probably like, hey, man, let's not waste any more time on this kid. That's what I think kind of happened. It was more like a chain reaction. But, I think those offers would have came eventually, but I think that did speed it up.
How many times have you been to Tennessee?
Well, so I've been probably 5 or more. Yeah, that's since my whole life being like little. So the last time I was up there I was in 8th grade.
Is there it's been obviously only a day since you were in Columbus. It's been a few years since you've been to Knoxville. What are you expecting difference-wise? What do you remember? What do you think that this decision ultimately, again, 2 weeks away now, what do you think it boils down to for you?
Man, really the key factor for me with these 2 schools is finding a place where I know I can be at home. I know where I'm wanted. I know where I can feel that family aspect as a team. A place where I can not only just fit in, but do excel at or exceed, I should say. But and I really like both these programs. These are both Tennessee was my dream school. Ohio State is amazing. Is an amazing place. I love both of them, and it's gonna be take a lot of prayer to get down to the final decision. But I'll just leave it up to God, and I hope things happen the right way, which I know He will. Open that path.
Your father, having played at Tennessee, I assume that there's at least a small part of him that wants you to maybe go there, right? But I like most good parents, I assume he's not pushing you in that direction. He's letting you make the decision for yourself. How much pressure is there in your mind to go that route?
Honestly, as people, there actually is kind of a good bit. Not from my family, but from family friends, people who I know for a while. I just feel like I know there's a lot of pressure there, but trust me, that doesn't affect me in any way. They can think what they want. At the end of the day, it is my decision, and my family really supports that no matter what. My mom and my dad, both being alumni, they really support my decision.
Interestingly, Bennett, you told me this weekend that your father works with C.J. Cavazos, the father of Ohio State freshman legend Cavazos.
Yes, sir.
So you do have at least a little familiarity there with somebody inside of the Ohio State program. You were able to have lunch with legend on Saturday. What What's the feedback you get from a person like him who you've known for a while, or through CJ and your father? Do you feel like you get a sort of a cheat sheet about what Ohio State's like for a player having that conversation?
Oh, for sure. Really beneficial because I asked him a ton of questions and he answered in a good way. It helped a lot, kind of realizing like for example, I would ask him, hey, like, what's Coach Wilson like? I love Coach Wilson, but like, what's he like at the practice facility? Obviously, he says he's an amazing guy, which I already know he is. Like, hey, what's a typical day like? He'll explain it, and it was good to have like an inside look, kind of for like an actual player. So that it was definitely really good to sit down with him.
Is there any part of you that thinks that not being able to go inside of a building or not being able to go into Ohio Stadium, like, is that missing, or do you feel honestly like what you saw this weekend was enough? Because I think a lot of people would wonder, in the middle of this situation where the NCAA is still restricting recruiting, you had these offers from Ohio State and Tennessee now for less than 2 months. What people are probably thinking you're hurrying, right?
Right, and then my response to that is when you have the offers, you always want to ask a little boy, why wait? Why wait? And that's the thing. My dreams, my top three schools always. I loved Ohio State, loved how good they were. Just that, as I didn't want to admit it because they were so good. I didn't want to call a bandwagon, but I always liked watching Ohio State football because they were so dang good. So having that is awesome. In Tennessee, having a fan, like my dad and mom, that's awesome too. Penn State, always one of my top schools, and having that, like, those three schools happen, there's no need to wait. And so now I'm just making the decision that's best for me. And also one other thing, when I commit to one of these two schools, I'm actually going to be committed. I'm not gonna commit and then decommit later. When I committed, I'm committed. The only reason it would change would be like maybe a switch, like a coaching change. That would be the only reason I could tell. So when I'm committed, I'm committed.
Has there been any communication with you and the Ohio State commits in your class? I mean, they have 4 guys committed. They're all from Ohio. You don't know how much they're actually reaching out, but is there conversation between you and Jair Brown or CJ Hicks or Gabe Powers or Tegra Tishbola?
Not yet. I mean, me and CJ follow each other on social media. We'll definitely. I mean, we'll hit each other up soon. So looking forward to that. They seem like really good people, so it'll be good to talk to them about the stuff.
How is the relationship with Kevin Wilson? Again, I'm fascinated because in the big picture of recruiting, as a 2022 prospect, these schools aren't going to be able to actually like talk to you as much as they want to until the day you commit, until September 1st. So that's the day that the recruiting contact will really open up between your class and these coaches. How have you guys been able to build a relationship that you feel is strong enough about to get to this point? I know there are loopholes that allow conversation, but do you feel like that relationship has really elevated above others?
I do, actually. I really do. I mean, me and Coach Wilson have been in contact for about 6.5 months, probably, back since early March. So really talking to him kind of gave me a feel of how he is as a person. I mean, he's a good man of faith. I think we share a lot of qualities. I really, really, really like Coach Kevin Wilson, along with Coach Tim Hill, Coach Parker Fleming. We're just growing up relationships. Zoom calling on the probably on the phone a ton during the week. He's a great man. I really enjoy Coach Wilson, and so there's really, like, even as we go on, just keep furthering that relationship, even though we haven't met in person yet. I'm really excited for when we do. I can tell a lot about him just by like FaceTiming, Zooming, calling. So he's a really good guy.
Where do you go? I mean, Georgia, you guys are playing football down there, high school football. So if the NCAA allows you or college coaches to go out and visit and evaluate, are there still other schools out there that you wish you had gotten some more attention from? I know you grew up a Tennessee fan, but you're in Georgia. Do you think that the Bulldogs and Crimson Tide and schools like that are missing the boat here? What do you think's held them back?
Man, I mean, I cannot tell you. at the same time, even if they did come after me, I don't have interest in those schools in particular. Maybe one, probably Clemson. I mean, even with that, really my two schools I want to go to, no matter who else came, was Ohio State and Tennessee.
As a tight end, Ohio State fans like to have this kind of a running joke over the last couple of decades that, they always need to throw the ball to the tight end more. When is the tight end getting more involved in the offense, more involved? And then Ryan Day, that's a big part of his offense. As a recruit, do you pay a lot of attention to catches or development? What's more important for you as you're watching these other tight ends?
Well, listen, I mean, the thing about Ohio State, they have the best receivers in the nation, the best running backs. They got all these key skill position players. And so that, I mean, like other schools, they don't have, no one has Ohio State receivers. So that's my answer. It's kind of different when you have so many great players on the field at a time. And so my answer, I mean, when I get the ball, I'm going to make the best of my opportunity to go get the ball. Same with because I run a power I in my offense. We run the ball 90% of the time. We'll pass maybe 10. And so whenever I have an opportunity to make a play on the ball, I go get it, and then I do my match. So really, I mean, that's my answer. Ohio State, they have amazing players everywhere on the field. That's just a fact. So I think they kind of mask the tight ends a little bit. But even with that, I mean, Jeremy, he's an amazing player along with Luke. They make great plays all over the field. And when they get the chance to make the play, they always make the play. So, I mean, that was my answer right there.
I think I know the answer to this question, Bennett, because you were still considering Penn State when they had the first tight end commitment. But Ohio State in the class of 2020 and in the class of 2021 had intended to recruit 2 tight ends, and in both classes ended up with just one. There's not really a decision or a play to add a second one in this current class. In your class, then, it makes sense that they may end up needing to go with 2. How much does that concern you?
Not at all. And I hope this. I realize on the bottom of my heart, this is not good. I really hope this does not sound cocky at all, because this is just a mindset. I would never say this, but in my mind, and I stress all caps, in my mind, I want to go out there with the tenacity that I'm the best player in the nation. That's what you have to be successful mentally. And again, I would never say that like to anybody else. That sounds really bad, but listen, that's what you have to have in your mind, and that's really what I tell myself. Okay, no one can compete with me on the field, but of course, again, I would never tell anyone that on the field. Hey, I'm better than you. Oh, no, that's in my mind. That's something you have to carry on, and that's something that you need to be a successful football player, especially at a place like Ohio State.
A lot of our viewers sometimes, Bennett, think that I ask questions that are too hard, or that it maybe like it seems like I'm trying to like tell you. I get accused at times of saying kids of asking questions that make you think you shouldn't choose Ohio State, but this decision is one that you and your family have to make, and it's going to take the rest of your life. How do you get from that visit next weekend to a choice? What you said prayer. What else do you have to do? Is there a checklist? Is there just a list of pros and cons? Like, how do you go from next weekend when you visit Knoxville to the weekend after when you make a decision? How do you get there?
Drive around campus, seeing everything. Wherever feels like home. Wherever feels like home. All like that. Who can I see myself playing for more, like coaching wise? Where would I enjoy it more? And those two things along that's kind of what I'm looking for. I mean, like what's it feel like there? Kind of would I enjoy it the next 3 to 4 years? And of course, I mean, Tennessee, Ohio State, they're going to have amazing facilities like all these huge schools will. Excuse me. So really, just wherever I know I feel like home, wherever I can see myself playing for the coaches, those would be the two more deciding factors.
Absolutely. Well, good luck in the next 2 weeks as you start to gear up towards that decision. We appreciate you taking time and joining this episode of Bermanology. That is Bennett Christian, 2022 tight end from Georgia. I am Jeremy Birmingham. This is Lettermen Row. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll catch you next time.